To airbrush or not to airbrush? That is the question. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all for coming, hanging out. We hit 2K subscribers on the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Should be a good one. I am going to debunk some of those airbrushing urban legend myths that people get hung up on. Super easy. I love my airbrush. Don't be afraid of the airbrush is what I'm saying. It's not that bad. You can get the same, or very close to the same techniques or the same look with a regular brush, but airbrush is a lot quicker. It's a lot more smoother. Yeah, I've been using my airbrush for a minute, so this is not to say stop doing what you're doing and just do airbrush, or it's just I want to debunk some of these. Oh, it takes forever to clean. It can't change the colors quick enough and all that stuff. No, just practice with your airbrush and you'll get better, you'll get quicker, and you'll probably start loving your airbrush as much as I love mine. So let's just check out the video. Okay, so here I have an Iwata airbrush, and I believe the model is an HPCS. So this is kind of like their standard, not low end, but it's not one of the high end ones. It's almost like a starter one, and it's an Eclipse, as you can see here. And also this one is a dual action, and what that means is you press down on the main lever and then you pull it back. So you press down to start the airflow and then you pull it back to adjust your paint flow. You got the nozzles and the needles and the reservoir up top. It's a gravity fed, meaning the paint will be on the top, versus there's a canister. You can get one for bottom fed also. Again, this is really what I'm doing this for, is pretty much for the hobbyist, not anyone who's like wanting to go out and do airbrushing for a living. And what I got here is, it's not as standard, but it's very close to it. It's probably one upgrade from a standard. And this was just a cheap compressor that I got from Amazon. And I'll have links for everything in the bottom there, but on and off switch, there's a moisture trap there, the knobs and the gauges, just to see how much PSI you want coming through there. And here's standard hose for any airbrush that you can find. I've had that compressor for a minute and it's working pretty good. Here I have, and I'll have the link in the bottom too, but I've made my own cleaning solution and something to dilute paint. This little thing here is a pot, airbrush holder pot thing where you can spray your excess paint when you're cleaning and swapping out paints and all that stuff. Because I'm in like an enclosed room, I don't have that much space to open windows and stuff like that, so that helps a bit. If you see here, I got my gauge set to probably like 25 to 30 is what I like to run my airbrush at, the PSI. And I typically use ammo paints. Ammo's been the best paint so far for me as airbrushing. I mean, there's all type of other paints that are out there, but for me, ammo is pretty much solid, and I don't have to worry about mixing and diluting paint. And so honestly, I just dropped some paint in the hopper up top. And how you want to airbrush is just going back and forth, back and forth. You want to start past the object and spray paint and go past it again. So you want to start not on the piece, but you want to start off of it, do an even sweep, and then finish off of the piece. And again, I wanted to debunk some of these myths of, cleaning and changing colors. Those are the two major things that I hear a lot of people when they say they don't want to pull out the airbrush and do airbrushing. And as you can see, this is taking me no time to just put down, and I'm using a piece of styrene also to practice with and do this demonstration. And you'll be able to get like a really nice adhering to that styrene, or any plastic really, is what I typically practice with, because that'll get you better with how close and how far to let that airbrush go back and forth. And so here I'm just swapping out the paint. And if, we sit here and time it right now from where I kind of cleaned it, put in new paint, I mean, it may be 45 seconds to a minute. You can literally sit here and kind of time it yourself. But what I'm doing here when I hold my finger in front of the airbrush is that it's called backfilling. And so I'm allowing all the nasty different color paint to get sucked through there and get a chance for that cleaner to actually go through there and clean out the brush so I can put a new color in, really. And now I'm painting with a different color. My lovely assistant, my camera lady, she was moving around quite a bit, but here I am off to the new color. And heck, it had probably been a little quicker than this as well, but because we were making sure we could get the camera, zoomed in and not fading out and all that stuff. And yeah, like I said, maybe 30 seconds to change color. And now I'm going to show how I clean it. It's pretty much how you change colors, but now I'm just using the cleaner. So when I change colors, I was just using the paint thinner, my homemade concoction. But it's the same thing. Just put a few drops of, cleaner inside the hopper up top. Let it run through a little bit. Dump it out. Backfill it. And you do that a few times and it's pretty much clean. Towards the end here, I'm going to show you how you can take this apart and clean it a little more for short storage. If you want to put it away for long storage, you want to break it down really good and get all in there and stuff. But as you can see on my hand here, when I sprayed, there was still some residue of gray left. So I just, put some more cleaner in there one more time, dumped it out. And you'll see here where it's perfectly clean. And that's it. This is not a hard thing to do. I love my airbrush. I love painting with it, whether it's miniatures or trains or, like I said, 135 scale models. And so here, I'm going to take it apart and clean it just a little bit more, right? And so it comes with a little wrench. And so right now I'm taking off the cap. So you have a needle cap and you got a head cap. And I'm just taking that off. Inside of there is the little nozzle. Once I get this off, the actual nozzle is right there. So that cap is to protect that nozzle and the tip of that needle. So I'll take that off. I've already loosened up the chuck on the back of the airbrush. And what you want to do, most people will want to pull that needle out, but you want to push it through, right? Because what's happening is that there's still paint, little particles of paint and stuff that are falling or have fell through the hopper and where it comes out. And what you don't want to do, excuse me, is pull the needle, because now you're pulling all that paint to where the trigger is, and you don't want paint and stuff down, because then you're really going to have to do a deep clean. And that's not as bad either, but that becomes irritating. I'm not going to lie. That's probably where some of this myth comes into play, right? Is, oh, I got to clean and I got to do all this and I got to break it down. And again, here you can see this is only taking me, and again, I'm going pretty slow doing this because I'm, trying to do a video about it, and I'm trying to explain exactly what's going on, but it doesn't take this long at all to do a few needle pulls through the actual machine itself. But yeah, I'll do this maybe 3 or 4 times, and you can see here it's still a little, got some brown and some gray, some gunk in there, some paint, and I'll just keep pushing that needle through the whole brush itself until it comes out clean. Now there are some other tools you can get, as far as like small little bristle brushes that you can put inside your airbrush and through the holes and all that stuff too. But I use my airbrush quite often, so I typically don't use those brushes unless I'm doing like a deep clean or something like that. My airbrush hasn't clogged up on me yet. Maybe I'll do a video on that, if there's some other type of things I could think of, or if you could think of some other things to ask about airbrushing, by all means ask away. But here again, I'm doing it one more time. I think I've done this 1 more or 2 more times just to make sure it's clean for a short storage, because I'm sure I got other stuff I need to airbrush. So and I think this is the final pass of it being nice and clean. And so we'll just let this little bit go out here. It's clean. And now I'm going to put it back together really quick. It's not that hard. I think you all would, for those, I'm not going to say you all, for those that, struggle and really don't want to airbrush, I would just encourage you to pull that airbrush out, if you have one, cheap compressor, and just play with it. The more you start doing certain things, the better and quicker you become at it. And that's probably another thing. So besides the changing paints and cleaning and setting up and stuff, it's just, the other one is that you don't use it enough. So now it definitely becomes more intimidating to not use the airbrush. The more you use it, the quicker you're going to get, and the better, results you'll get with it. So here I'm just putting that nozzle back on, putting the head cap and needle cap back on. Those things come apart also. But I again, there's no need to do that unless you have like a long storage, or, there's some paint that got gunked up in there. Everything is pretty much finger tight. I use that wrench for the top part though. And again, it's not like super tight where you can break it, but it's tight enough so it keeps the air in there. So there's rubber gaskets and stuff like that to prevent air from leaking. But you put the needle in the back there. Once you push the needle in there, it can't go any further because of the nozzle that's up there that's preventing it from going anywhere. But tighten the chuck up on it, make sure your trigger is working fine, and then put that back handle on there, and airbrush is ready to go to sit for at least a week or two. You know, maybe a month is probably short storage. 6 months to a year is long storage without using. And that's it, y'all. Appreciate you. Hope this helps. And that's it, y'all. I hope that with this video, I have put to bed some of your anxieties about using an airbrush. Again, I love using my airbrush. I think I want to get a couple more for having, like, you know, some for just a base coat, some for just using like enamels and different things like that. So as you've seen, it's very easy to clean, it's very easy to take care of, it's very easy and quick to change out paints. Grab your airbrush and airbrush your little heart away. I want to thank all my Patreon folks. I ain't forgot about y'all. I appreciate that support as well. I love y'all. I don't know what else to say. I appreciate it. And share this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Check out that video. And yeah, if I don't see y'all, because next week is Thanksgiving and I need to wrap this up. But if I don't see y'all, have a great Thanksgiving, and I will see y'all next week, next video.